a couple of washrooms and shower rooms for office use. The highways advice again is that the travel monitoring fee is not necessary, and again highways are happy that the 4 cycle stands on highway land can be secured by an acceptable condition. The difference on the north elevation with this scheme is looking at the balcony units. This is the elevation that faces the Randolph Hotel. This elevation is to be retained as the existing, where my cursor is. Can you see my cursor on there? No, hang on. Sorry. Can you see now? Yeah. So on this floor, you'll see on the first floor and the second floor and the third floor, you can see the balcony arrangement. So it hasn't got that curtain walling proposed on this scheme. At Friars Entry, there is an alternative arrangement to the window openings at ground floor level. This is the proposed basement plan, where you can see the shower units at basement level. This shows the cycle stands out the front, a reception area as you go in through Friars Entry being the main entrance again. Adjacent to that is the siting of 15 cycle stands internally, and again next door to that is the bin storage area. First floor plan showing the office floor space and the internal sort of kitchen and WC facilities. Again with the second floor, third floor, fourth floor and fifth floor. Roof level plans is again for plant. Visualizations are the same and the views. So I'll just refer now to this scheme where it differs from the student accommodation. So the assessment of the proposed use has considered the loss of the existing uses as set out in paragraphs 10.8 and 10.12 of the report. And the principle of this proposed development is considered acceptable on the basis that it's an existing city centre site, making best use of most efficient use of the land to provide office use in a sustainable location. Policy V1 of the local plan seeks to direct town centre uses within use class E, including office and retail use, to defined centres in Oxford. The proposal is speculative. However, it's acknowledged that the development would provide operational employment within the region of 184 full-time employment positions based on the floor space, 1 staff member per 10 to 13 metres squared, and the equivalent of 15 full-time employment positions during the construction phase. Once again, the scheme is considered to cause less than substantial harm to the conservation area at the lower level. However, the assessment of public benefits as required by the NPPF, as detailed in paragraph 10.55 of this report, considers that the benefits of the scheme, including but not limited to, include increased energy efficiency and the contribution to the demand for sustainably located office space and the improvement to public realm in Friars Entry. This would collectively outweigh the identified low level of less than substantial harm that would be caused to the conservation area. The development would preserve the significance of the nearby listed buildings in the setting of which the site is located and cause no harm. The building is proposed as a managed facility with permanent on-site staff. Again, the refuse and cycling strategy is for building management operatives to move the bins from the ground floor level to the designated collection point. Mechanism for securing 4 cycle stands on highway has been agreed by the highway officers as being acceptable via condition, and subject to the relevant conditions, proposed development would meet policy requirements in relation to all other issues assessed as part of this application, including biodiversity, land quality, air quality, archaeology and drainage. And to conclude, officers are recommending approval of this application as set out in the officer's report, subject to the conditions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Questions? Can I just raise one? I think it was, I can't remember, it was the police were saying that it was unsatisfactory for the bikes and the bins to be sort of mixing. I couldn't really see the detail of the on the plan, but are those kept separate so people don't have to sort of navigate through bins?
Yeah, they have 2 separate doors, separated. That is a requirement that they're not mixed together. And as a second round of consultation, the police withdrew their objection.
Sorry, Mr. Twamley, I'll give you you have your 5 minutes. Sorry.
Can you hear me now? Yeah. I won't give you chapter and verse. I've cut a lot of it out now. The application comprises the change of use, refurbishment of the building to office use, which is use class E, including a rooftop extension. Joe's gone through the proposed changes in detail. This development meets an identified need for new commercial space within Oxford city centre, whilst returning an empty building back into active use. Again, as I said before, despite being marketed for a variety of commercial uses, the building has been mostly vacant since the pandemic. Oxford House was originally designed as offices, therefore this development returned the upper floors of the building back to its original intended use. It'll also make the building more sustainable and energy efficient. Whilst this is a speculative development with no named end user, the applicant is confident the building will be easily let, owing to a lack of quality office space within the city centre. And the proposal also supports Oxford Local Plan's employment strategy, which recognises the importance of the city, particularly in a knowledge-based economy. And that's it. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, and sorry for overlooking you. Okay, questions? No? Anna? Okay, sorry. Okay, comments. There's another comment that came up was about DDA compliance as well. I wonder if that had been addressed. I think it was about access to lifts. Thank you, it did.
I think that will be covered by building regulations. The access now to the basement is it purely in relation to the access to the basement? On this one, it was the shower rooms at ground floor, and the proposal includes including lowering the lift shaft as it is currently to the ground floor down into the basement. So there will be lift access.
Okay, I think that's, yeah, that sounds like it's been addressed. Okay. Alex.
I would like to propose approval with the proposed conditions, and I'd also like, just to be consistent, to mirror my additional condition about bins. I'm much less concerned with this one because of where they are and because of the nature of the use, but just for equality's sake and all that sort of thing. Yes, positive this, and yes, bringing it back to its previously intended use and significantly enhancing Friars Entry are very significant benefits, and I thoroughly approve. It's almost a shame that we don't have the official government approved mansard roof, the only design thing featuring in the NPPF, but it's pretty close to a mansard, so I think we should back it enthusiastically, despite the face that Jill Butter is pulling.
Thank you. Sarge, okay. If there are no many more comments, then I think we can move to a vote. All those in favour of this application? I think that's it's unanimous. Thank you. If we have a second while councillor Hollingsworth can leave the room. Agenda item 7, which is 34 Canal Street. Rob Fowler.
Thank you, Chair. The site location is in 34 Canal Street in Jericho. Going to take members through the photos and plans quickly as they have been circulated prior to the meeting this evening, but can come back to any images if that's useful. So this is the front elevation of the property. So the application site is the property on the left in this picture with the red door. Planning permission is sought for replacement windows and a door. Permission is also sought to remove a roof light and insert some ventilation grills. Much of the officer report refers to 3 timber sash windows on the front elevation. So there's 1 at ground floor and the 2 at first floor in this picture. These are proposed to be replaced with double glazed timber sliding sash windows, similar in design to the existing windows. So this is the rear elevation. The roof light is sought to be removed. You can just see that on this image. Another image of the rear elevation. I now have the proposed plans. So this is the proposed front elevation. So you've got the property on the left again in this photo between the 2 red lines. And this is the proposed rear elevation. And in the rear elevation, you can see the sorry, this is the rear elevation. So you've got the triple glazed windows at first and second floor are proposed, and a double glazed door and side lights at ground floor level. And lastly, I have this window detail. Above section 2 of the window, these are typically provided with this type of application, but may not be a type of plan that members of the committee are familiar with. This is relevant to the group ground and first floor timber frame sash windows that are referred to just now and referred to in the officer report. They're an important feature of the conservation area. To explain what you're looking at in this plan is the 2 sets of double glazed sash windows here. So if I just get the laser pointer. Oh, I can't do that. Okay, so you can see there are 4 blue lines on the image. Roughly where my cursor is, these are the individual panes of glass. So you've got 2 sets of double glazed sliding sashes. That just shows you the construction of the window. And it's relevant when you're considering the thickness of that window relative to what's currently there.
Just to say that the bottom of the drawing is outside and that the top of the drawing is inside the building.
Yes.
So the sash window sits behind the brick, which is a post, which is a 19th century design.
Thank you, Jill. And the application is recommended for approval, subject to conditions.
Thank you very much. Questions? Louise?
Just a quick one then, but the new window will sit in exactly the same position as the existing one?
Absolutely, yes. Sorry, because it's deeper. So at the moment, it's sort of flush with the inside wall, but so it will sit inboard of the inside wall. And the applicant had a full assessment with all the work to be done to upgrade the building, and this is one part of it that's being done. Ultimately, potentially, the internal walls will be lined.
Any other questions? Go on.
The window sort of right at the very top, that's also going to be double glazed, is it?
Yes,
That's
but
not
it's
changing in its look or style.
No, it's a casement, flush casement paired window, in the same way as it is at the moment.
Yeah, okay, so it's not affected.
It was the sash windows that were more of the difficulty in terms of the design
Three of them,
and getting that absolutely right. And just to say that there's an Article 4 direction in Jericho, which is why this comes as a seeking planning permission, because it's normally permitted development
Yeah,
to do that. And the importance of the Article 4, because it gets a lot of criticism, but the reason for it is that conservation areas have a special character and appearance. The windows in Jericho, of the buildings in Jericho, are very much a part of that special architecture and appearance and what you see and the character of the architecture of the place. And so they're protected in that way, the fronts of the building. It's not the backs because you don't see them, but the fronts. And so it's important that we get the detail right, which is really
I
where we
agree,
are.
I think they're very important, lovely buildings, so we get the detail right, exactly.
Thank you. Okay, so we have council in front of us. So any more questions or comments? No? Okay, fine. Also, all those in favour, as I'll second it, and all those in favour of approval. And that's unanimous, so that's 9. Thank you very much. Then we can briefly go through the minutes of the last meeting.
Chair,
Yeah.
I would have email from councillor Muddyman correcting the minutes. I don't know if anybody else is like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I too received it and it was, yeah.
Just that you know.
So I think what councillor Muddyman was raising was whether councillor Pressel, in appearing at the last meeting, was proving or objecting, and she was basically commenting on the application.
Yeah, and she said that she wasn't either for or against. She was just making a comment.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think the minutes make that clear. Thank you. But thanks for raising that. Okay, page 1 of the minutes. Page 2.
Yeah.
Page 3.
Yeah.
Page 4. Anybody else have a chance though? Page 5. Page 6.
Yeah.
Page 7. Page 8.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thanks, Rob, staying to me.